AI became a priority because it gives the member the option to do it themselves. They don't have to wait on a representative or, you call these big companies like, oh, the wait time's 10 minutes. With AI, everything is on you. As soon as you get in, put your information in, the information is readily available, and it breaks down that breaks that area of not communication. It kind of breaks that up, and it's well deserved. I mean, everyone should get service immediately, I believe, and that's very important to us to instill that. Volume has definitely increased. Like it almost like COVID hit a switch and turned up the call volume. I thought everyone is home, calling in, which we didn't have to in turn hire more representatives. But then we found out this AI interface, which was a great resolution where we were able to put the AI as the forefront, handle the quicker issues, the balance inquiries, the money transfers, the transaction histories, so that we are able to have our representative take a deeper dive into bigger issues. Right now, AI is taking anywhere from 60 to 65% automation for us, which is a great help. And this goes back to, letting AI handle those quick inquiries while we, take the deeper dive into the disputes and the bigger issues with our members. We also adopted that we hadn't done before is the work from home with representatives as well. And also we've altered our operation hours to optimize like when we need representatives on the phone. It's just giving us an opportunity to move some figures around and make some adjustments to better serve our members. Breezy happily has been taking the calls 24/7. It's wonderful. We do have an option though, like if the member wants to talk to a live agent, they can put in a callback request, and my management staff is on it in the morning, call the member back, to address their concerns.
Have a chance to have in-depth conversation with members, be able to get that. We build trust. Hey, they want to do more business with us. When it comes down to it, we have to run this business like a for-profit business to be able to generate the return we need. And we can do that now with a little bit less pressure because of Breezy deflecting a lot of those easier calls.
I think overall we've been able to elevate the role of our agents because of AI or Breezy. It's allowed us to identify what we can do more, whether it may be using agents for doing outreach, new member onboarding, just moving agents in areas where we need assistance in different departments. But I think overall it's been a great tool that elevation has been possible with this new tool.
So we went live in a couple different tranches. We initially went live with the smart discovery, so online, just being able to ask questions on the chat. So then we worked through that process. Then we went live with the phone, being able to call in to ask questions. When I say ask questions, I mean pre-authentication questions, like what's the directions to the nearest branch type thing. Then we went live on the phone with that as well. And then we went live at the same time with the authenticated phone and chat, meaning be able to move money and do things that were tied to someone's account. The process probably took 120, 150 days, but that cadence that it worked through, and I'm proud. We got feedback from Interface that we did more UAT than any other financial institution Interface ever worked with. So we took the testing really serious. And what I appreciated is Interface moved as quick as we did, getting back with all the intent type information where we had to say, hey, here's the answer to those 20 most frequent questions. So the process probably took about 4 or 5 months, but it was, once we got up and running with one, then you're able to kind of get it flowing. And with something like this, it takes effort, but we were also really cautious to do it the right way.
I think what makes this possible is this kind of two-pronged approach that we have where we're constantly monitoring member feedback, and we're able to do that by sending our members a text message, whether they were able to speak to Breezy and Breezy took care of what they called in for, or even if it gets routed to an agent. And we're able to sift through these surveys and kind of get a temperature check on how Breezy is performing and recognize any opportunities for enhancing Breezy. And then the other prong there is when the member gets to the agent also will document what the call was for. And so when we take both of those data sources and put them together, we're able to have regular meetings as a team to review this feedback. And we really do pride ourselves in being able to respond quickly, really like aiming for those quick wins or any opportunity to just fix a problem right then and there. But that can't be possible if we didn't have a vendor partner like Interface AI that also prioritizes being able to move just as quickly when there's a need to introduce a new intent or maybe revisit one that was already established. And it was important for us to kind of just take away from an experience of bringing in Interface AI is really understanding that AI itself is a learning software. And where maybe some businesses struggle, it's how can you humanize the AI? Breezy is one of those steps. When you recognize AI as this learning software, in the way that you would coach a teammate to make improvements, you almost want to do that same thing with AI, where it's important to really guide that relationship by setting those clear objectives and using continuous feedback to help them improve. You would do that with your teammate. Hey, you know what? Breezy is another one of our teammates.
One, you got to take some time to educate your board and demystify this AI thing. Just try to explain a little bit more of what it is. And I appreciated that we had the Interface team come to a couple board meetings, one to just do a little bit of education and another one to do a demo and talk through it as we got further through the sales cycle to get the board comfortable, but to remind them, the epitome of what a credit union is with being service first. You're going to treat your Breezy like a teammate. And we had a team that worked really hard to get implementation up and running. Interface was awesome. But put in the time and effort, educate yourself, educate your board, and I think long-term it can yield results.
Never losing touch of what the member is feeling or what they're experiencing is key here when rolling out a platform like this. And previously, we didn't have a real-time way of getting feedback from members calling into the contact center. We would have to set a certain cadence, whether it was bi-weekly or monthly, that a member would get a survey. But those weren't really that effective because if it was 2 weeks after I called in, am I going to remember the interaction? What I really appreciated about this relationship with Interface is that there wasn't an out-of-the-box solution for triggering surveys with our members, but they were willing to hear us out on why we needed it and be able to make it happen. Like, we worked together. I think it took a couple meetings, having some ideas thrown back and forth, and then boom, we were able to have members start receiving surveys in real time. And that was so key for us in recognizing what was important to the member. That way we can take those and prioritize the enhancements that we were trying to make through the Breezy intents. So making sure you have that mechanism for feedback, I think, is very important here.
So some of the other modules Interface has, we plan on being able to explore from an automation standpoint. We're deploying new intents monthly to try to keep getting the automation rate higher and higher. And even if it doesn't get much higher, but there's more things we can do quicker so that we can handle a higher volume of calls that should get through to the call center. Hey, we're at 60%, we're good. And Interface is being a great kind of guiding light through that process. And then we're able to utilize our own data to identify from internally, hey, these are the things we can still be able to do that you don't need a human, as long as we can work with Interface and be able to program it. Probably our biggest thing we'd say about Interface is the ability to receive feedback and how quick the team responds. Super appreciated. And you guys truly do, it sounds cliche, but you actually act like a partner, not like a vendor, and it certainly means a lot to us and very much appreciated.